Hey, Jenny.
Hello, Laurel.
Video. Can you hear me okay?
You got a can't see.
Hmm. Hang on. Oop.
Hey, Leila.
Okay, I don't know.
There you are. I see something.
Oh, you know what's happening?
I see a
Okay.
computer.
Yeah, what was happening is it was uh it was connecting to my the video on my phone because now you can use your iPhone for webcam.
Yes.
So it did it automatically. So, hey,
Hey, how are ya?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, real good, real good.
And you can hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay, good. Hey, Leela.
Hello, ladies.
Ah,
You're
so good to
looking
have you.
beautiful as always.
Thank you. It's it's kind of a crazy day, but we wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk about Thanksgiving and thank you and all the good stuff today. The day before Thanksgiving in the US. So, yeah. So, thank you, Jenny, for getting everything started and yeah.
I'm just glad I
Oh,
figured it out. Woo! One thing's
yeah.
going right today.
Yay! Yeah, well, it's funny. So Leela, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the radio show, but we were talking about food and gratitude, and we were talking about the different menus and stuff. And Jenny was like, "Okay, now I'm gonna have to redo my whole menu." I hope you didn't redo your menu, Jenny.
I did think about it, but then I thought, okay, where do I want to invest my time? And so
Right?
I thought that. It's not
Yes.
mashed
Yeah.
potatoes. I'm already making mashed potatoes. I thought about going and getting sweet potatoes and, peeling and boiling them for the sweet potato casserole, but I'm going to stick with my canned yams.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. I'm telling you. I think that show was called. I'm almost positive it was called Semi Homemade. I don't even know if it's on
it was. I
anymore.
remember it.
Yeah.
Sandra, somebody was
Something. Yeah. And
one
she's
that used to be married to the governor of New
yes.
York or the mayor of New York. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was like, no, do the candy. So I'm here. I'm hanging out with my mom, and we're gonna have to get dressing and stuff done. But Leila, we were talking about the difference between stuffing and dressing. We were talking about yams
Oh
versus
my
sweet
gosh.
potatoes, green
I
bean
have to
casserole. Ugh.
I will send you the YouTube. It was New York Times did 20 stuffings and they talked about it. Is it stuffing? Is it a dressing? But they did 20 different types in like
Oh,
15 minutes. And oh my gosh, after you watch this video of them doing it in their test kitchen, you're like,
yeah.
okay, where is that stuffing? I'm gonna
I'm like, you know what? It's so clear to me. I'm like, if you stuff it in the bird, it's a stuffing. If you bake
Yes,
it outside the bird, it's a dressing. And so we do
exactly.
dressing. It's pretty,
Exactly.
it's pretty simple. Plus, we got to
Yeah.
have stuff really done. So when you put stuff in the bird, it doesn't seem to get us done for me. But
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. And
So
then funniest America's Funniest Home Videos did a whole thing on people that were sticking stuff in this turkey
yes.
to jinx or to kind of like trip up the person cooking the
Yeah.
bird. So they would put like a cooked egg or I mean just weird
Oh,
stuff in the turkey and it was like, "Oh my God, it was so funny."
I saw someone, I've never seen this before. I saw someone on Instagram or one of those the other day that actually had a pineapple, and the pineapple looked to be covered with something red, like, and I think she was doing adobo seasoning, which is red, but the whole pineapple was covered. And then she stuffed the whole pineapple, like with the stem sticking out, of course, into the bird. I'm like, I don't know, because she was saying, she's like rubs butter under the skin between the like meat and the skin. And it was an elaborate kind of process. And I thought, I don't know if I want adobo and pineapple like in the middle of the bird. I don't know.
And did they eat the pineapple, or was it just to like infuse that flavoring to the turkey?
I'm guessing it was to infuse the flavoring, is my guess. But then I don't know, because see that she stopped it after she pulled it out and was showing how like crisp the skin was and everything. So she didn't say much else after that. So I'm not quite sure what they did with the
That is
pineapple.
one thing that like how we have looked up food, like recipes has changed. Like, we used to watch it on TV and, you have to see the
Yes.
whole show, and then, you might catch it on streaming or, record it on your DVR.
Mhm.
I still like look up recipes, but a lot of things I look up on
Yeah.
Pinterest, or like I see a reel that has that thing. But like I tried to make
Yes.
something off Reels earlier this week, and I'm like, I don't know the whole story here.
Right.
Hey, ladies, I had a quick question. I'm trying to turn my
Yeah.
camera on my iPhone. How do I do that?
So you would need to go to that
Pamela
that little thing, that thing at the bottom, and say request video. But I didn't see your little thing pop up.
It doesn't. It says leave stage, broadcast to the world, share with followers, alerts, show settings, maybe?
That's weird. Okay, so let me try to invite you to video and see if that'll work.
Yeah.
Invite to video. Try that.
I don't see any invite to video.
Okay, I invited you, so you should see a pop-up.
Nope.
That's strange.
For your phone, you have to give Fireside permission to use your video if you haven't before. Is my only suggestion, because it should be right in that place that you're talking about, Leela.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go to settings.
Into settings. Yeah. Under I think it's privacy, right, for the camera.
Okay. Yeah. Show settings. Let me try that. Okay.
Yeah,
you guys keep talking while I'm figuring this out.
Yeah. You're right, Jenny, because there's been some recipes that I've seen come through a reel. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then I'm like, they don't put everything in there, and then you get a whole click on this thing in my bio to see the whole recipe or something. I'm like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, so I give up. Yeah. Yeah. So now, are you guys all staying there, Jenny? Or are you guys getting on the road to go see somebody? What are you guys doing?
We are staying here, and I was thinking about Thanksgiving in the terms of empowerment and how maybe if things have changed the past few years. And there was something that happened like when we were in quarantine during COVID. We didn't have the big Thanksgiving, and it was kind of like, ooh, like I miss people, but also this is a lot better to be home and relaxed and not stressing about getting here and there and bringing the things, assigning the tasks, putting it all together, making it perfect. It was like, ooh, this actually feels more like I can be more grateful for this.
Exactly. Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, I tell you what, as I was driving here, and I've gotten this thing where I can just break it up, which makes it really nice. But as I was driving here, I was like, the one time a year I really hate to travel is Thanksgiving. I hate it because it's the same day for everybody, right? It's the same. It's a nightmare. And when they said there were supposed to be 55 million cars on the road this year, I mean, I could just feel the anxiety rising. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, actually, for me. But then I was also on the road at 6 a.m. this morning, so that makes a difference too. So, yeah, I'm like you. I like quiet. Just I don't want to have to go through a lot of drama on Thanksgiving.
It's funny to say that because I was thinking the same thing in my gratitude journal this morning. I wrote, my intentions for the day, and it was to create a good Thanksgiving environment. And it seems like one shit show after another at my house this morning. I'm not to that part yet. the feeling thankful part yet. I'm trying to make it, but practicing navigating these challenges and trying to
it's a lot
and remember what the holiday is about instead of blah.
It's gotten really crazy. Hey, Suzanne, let's see. I'm going to invite you
guys.
to.
I checked the photography, all the settings.
The setting,
and it's nope. I can't. Everything.
That's so
looks
weird.
Fine.
I'm going to try to invite you again, Leela, and see if it pops up. I just said I clicked on you and said invite to video. Suzanne, I'm going to invite you too.
It's so weird. Nothing.
That is so
up.
strange. You might have to go out and come back in. Oops.
Yeah, let me try that.
I was about to turn my stuff off
Let me
too.
try that.
Okay. Sue, I'm about to invite you to speak. And then if you want to be on video, feel free to come on video. I'll invite you to video too. Are you ready, Sue? What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm currently sitting in the ICU at the hospital with my mom who's getting a pacemaker. So I thought,
Oh my
I'll just join
God.
Laurel's fireside and it'll entertain me for a little bit.
Holy shit. Suzanne.
I know, it's crazy. So
Oh,
Well, your
Anyway.
Thanksgiving plans have been made for you.
they have been
yes.
made. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So
It's
all
David.
good.
I mean, so, you're not by yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, this all kind of came up last night. So yeah.
Okay, I missed
Okay.
that. What did you say?
She's
I said
in the
I'm in the
ICU with her mom.
ICU. Well, yeah, with my
What?
mom. I know.
What?
Okay, Sue, so you'll have
That's
to
how
sit.
dedicated I am to you, Laurel. That I still show up.
So for those of you watching, so Leela and Suzanne are lifelong friends of mine. And so Sue, text me. I'm going to text you after. What can we do? Let me know what you need, right?
We're good.
So,
Thank you.
oh my gosh. Okay. I'll let mom know too. The prayer chain is on point.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. So we know what you're doing for Thanksgiving then.
I know. I got out of cooking, I think, a little bit. So
Oh my gosh.
The things
Oh.
we do, right?
I know.
Oh my God.
What happened to your mom, may I ask?
Oh yeah. So she's just I don't mean to talk about this on your thing, but I mean, yeah, she was kind of not feeling so great last week and kind of thought it was one of these upper respiratory kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
deals. And she has a physical therapist that stops by to see her every so often. And she was there yesterday and did her vitals and she was like, your heart rate is like 31.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
which is super low. And so she called me. I was on a conference call and she was like, I think your mom needs to go to the hospital and have this checked out. And so, I bailed on the conference call and headed that way. And yeah, we were in the emergency room until late last night. And then they put her in the ICU about midnight. And then she just left about an hour ago to go get this pacemaker done.
I'm just
mean, it's
stunned.
like-
Wow.
Out of nowhere, it's crazy. Yeah, she's never had a heart issue before. So it was kind of a surprise.
But maybe though this will also be some of the thing that's really been keeping her so tired all the time too.
Well, right.
That very well could be it, right? So
Yeah.
maybe this is like the turning point.
Something underlying. How old is
Yeah.
your mom?
She's 76. So yeah, this could be like a new lease on life in a way, just to feel better and have more energy. So we shall see. But she's very chill about the whole thing. We've been sitting here watching HGTV all morning and
Well, I love your attitude.
yeah. We're very chill about the whole thing.
Oh my
so-
gosh. Oh my gosh.
all
Well,
good.
we will absolutely be keeping her in prayer because that's just
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
She'll be happy to know that I've talked to you. So I will share that when she's out.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and
please,
season 5 of
listen.
The Crown is out if you guys want to watch that too.
Oh, been there, done that. It was so good.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been watching it's Thanksgiving, so of course now all of the Christmas movies have started. And so, it's like Hallmark and Lifetime, which is interesting because now Lifetime is in the Christmas movie game, which is
Yes, they are.
interesting. Because they're like, serial killer woman or Christmas
They have
movies.
happy endings.
Did you see that one of Santa where he goes and murders all these bad people on his list? It's like a horror Santa one. Luke was telling me about that. I'm like, oh my God, there are some really deranged people out there. I tell you.
I'd probably
No.
watch it too.
Right? I haven't seen that one. But my brother and I, so of course we're so off topic, but so Jenny, I know I'm dating myself, but at the holidays, there's like certain movies we always watch. And so my brother was in town last week for work. And so we were flipping channels at the end of the day. He's like, oh, and I was like, what? What's wrong? I'm thinking something else is wrong. He's like, we just missed Year Without a Santa Claus. I'm like, what? No. He said, I've been trying to get the kids into it. He said, they don't get it. I'm like, that is the best Christmas animated movie ever with the Heatmeister and Snowmeister. Yes, Mom. I don't know. I'm on my call, Mom. Okay. live, y'all.
Live, that's right.
But it's the one with the Heat Miser and Snow Miser. Y'all know
Yeah.
which one I'm talking about,
I
right?
know it.
Yeah, yes.
Exactly. I love that movie. And so we missed it. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's see if it's on Disney Plus. So what did Laurel do? Laurel goes and buys The Year Without a Santa Claus because
Oh my
at
gosh.
my age, I have to be able to watch that every Christmas. So, I don't know. What are you guys watching for Thanksgiving or for Christmas?
I want to watch the new Christmas Story.
That's
Oh yeah, with
adult one.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Well, that's
Oh, no.
Spirited. That one does look good, but no, this one is like the Christmas Story too, with Ralphie and
Oh,
that.
right. He goes back as an adult.
Have
yeah,
you
it's
seen
either
the
going to
new
be
one
great or terrible. We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never watched the original one all the way through.
Laurel
I know.
Rutledge.
I know.
No,
I
that's
don't
because
know.
it has a cameo of Trump, and I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, I forget about that. I blocked that part out.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I never watched the original one. I think I got all the way up to where his tongue was stuck on the pole, and I was done. I don't know what it was about that one. I couldn't get into it. I don't know.
I like it, and I've liked it more as I get older. I think for me, it's one of those Forrest Gump kind of movies. Every single scene is
yes.
oh, I remember that scene. Oh, I remember this scene. Oh, I remember this.
Yes.
I got to pause.
Yeah.
Guys. I'll be back.
Okay,
Hang on.
honey.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Jenny, because is it snowing up there?
No, not yet.
No. Okay, good. Because I just remember, because I was looking at all the weather, and it's actually snowing in the panhandle of Texas, they said, this Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just can't even. I can't.
What state are you in, Jenny?
I'm in Ohio.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So right outside of Cincinnati. So now, do the kids have traditions, Jenny, that they like during Thanksgiving or something?
It's really hard. I would say, and it's a challenge for a lot of people, so I don't mind talking about it.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of issues with their dad and,
mm-hmm.
things. So it kind of brings up a lot of icky feelings on the holiday.
Stuff.
One of the things we were hung up on here this morning.
Goodness.
Not wanting to go here and there for Thanksgiving, and it's traumatic. Yeah. And it's definitely a shift in the way that we were probably brought up as you're going no matter what. This is always what we do. You will show up, you will give hugs, you will give kisses, you will be polite, you will do this, you will do that. And now trying to parent in a different way than I know how, or that I was parented, and okay, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Is a head change, but I also think much needed.
And that's hard. I think we forget, and we were talking about that on the show on Tuesday, is holidays can be really hard. I mean, they're not the best for us either, because, lost grandparents, lost, dad, holidays. All of these aren't the greatest. And especially after this pandemic, there's so much loss and so much change and so many relationships that got just tough or broken or, hurt or morphed during COVID. And even though I think it's important to be, grateful and to think about all of the things that are good, we can't do that at the expense of acknowledging the realities, right, that people are dealing with. And that's what makes it a challenge, I think.
Yeah, and I think a lot of not just COVID, but politics stuff too. I don't have to go to the table with people who vote to put people in office who will hurt loved ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've had 7 mass shooting in the last 7 days, guys.
Yes.
It's
my friend just told me there was one in Virginia at a Walmart in Virginia.
Yep.
Yesterday?
Just today. Yep. Yep. It's just nonstop. And I don't, I don't know. It's up to our elected officials. I mean, certainly it's state by state, but in California, we have very strong gun laws, but from Nevada, they bring them in. So, I mean, it's one of these things that's like pollution. I mean, it goes over the border, right?
Exactly.
Which is why it has to be unified. And then when New Zealand just took 2 weeks to ban assault rifles just immediately.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. It's just done.
It was done. It was done.
But the gun lobby pays so much
Yeah.
to these politicians. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unreal.
Well, and to me, it gets back to, and I'm really hoping when I've gone back and started looking at kind of the results and who won and kind of this centrist moderate that actually won some seats this time. It's just like with all these people that get on the bandwagon about you're taking my guns, you're taking my rights, blah, blah, blah. If you listen to what people are saying, what people are asking for is reasonable rules, reasonable laws around this. Nobody's trying to take all your guns, but nobody needs an assault rifle. If you are not in the military, you don't need an assault rifle. You don't.
Yeah.
Go get a pistol, right? Go get a regular rifle. Go get something else, but you don't need these high power magazines. You don't need all that kind of stuff. That's not necessary. So let's make something that's reasonable. And we, unfortunately, reason seems to just leave the room most of the time.
Right. Most
It's scary.
responsible gun owners that I know want
Yep.
responsible gun laws. Like that's
Yes.
part of
Yes.
being a responsible gun owner.
Hello. Exactly. And having gun safes and having all the things in place that enable people to still do what they want to do and go hunting and do whatever it is they want to do, protect themselves, depending on where they are. But you don't need, a high capacity magazine and an AR-47 to do that.
Yeah.
You just don't.
And in 1994, when Bill Clinton signed that, which was bipartisan, the mass shootings were down for a decade.
Yes.
And then when it expired, mass shootings went back up, which proves that
Absolutely.
gun control works,
Absolutely. But see, nobody's talking about those facts. Nobody.
No.
Nobody's talking about
it's
that.
the number one killer now of children, which is just crazy to think about.
It is. It's insane. And I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, this time, trying to see what gets through and what gets passed and what happens. I mean, who knows?
Do we have a
what's gonna
final
happen.
count in the House of how many Republicans have? Was it? I know they had 218, obviously. But
I
do we
haven't
know if
seen
it's
it yet.
20, or I didn't see the final number.
I didn't see the final either.
I
think
did
it was
see that Lauren Boebert or whatever her name was won by 300 in Colorado or something. Absolutely, like, oh my God, you're kidding me.
I can't believe it. I know. And, she was coming out saying, we can't do this to people with the mass shooting. And everybody was coming back at her like, really?
Yeah.
You need to get off Twitter with all of that. You're the person who drove this rhetoric and drove people to do these things.
Y'all need to get off Twitter.
Yes, I need to cancel. I don't really use it. I have an account I've had for years, but I'm just going to go and delete it. I think if we just get off Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, since he's letting Trump back on, I mean, we don't want to have Trump have an audience,
No. Well, and not only that, he is a study in horrendous leadership. It is awful. It is awful what he is doing. I mean, I personally think he's trying to drive it into bankruptcy. I think it's intentional. I think it's intentional.
I heard somebody say that too, like then you can get a big tax write-off for it.
Yeah, I think it's intentional because if you think about it, he bought it on a whim, right?
Yeah.
Then he wanted to get out of it when he saw some things he didn't like, and they wouldn't let him out of it. Right. So fine, I have to buy it. I'm going to drive it into the ground so I can get something back out of it, right? But they said his net worth was down by $100 billion or something ridiculous.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, he's still the richest man in the world, and he lost, billions of dollars. So everybody's like whining, like seriously. Yeah. So it's really, it's all kind of insane. If you ask me, it's all just insane. I don't even know what's going on.
But challenges on this Thanksgiving. And one of the other things we were talking about yesterday on the radio show about, and surrounding Empowerment Village too is it seems like women are always doing the lion's share of the work around Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So I've been thinking today about how I can do that. And I think there are a lot of reasons we do that because we're afraid they're going to screw it up. We don't want to manage them because we all know if we give them things to do, that just means we have to manage them.
Yes. Yep. Or clean up after it.
But I was going to ask you, what's it like at your house growing up, Laura? I remember, we would go over to my grandparents' house, and my grandma, my aunts, my mom would do all the cooking and get everything ready. And my grandpa might do he'll do the turkey, whatever the meat is. The man can do the meat. I don't know what that's about, but
I don't get that either.
And then they eat, and all of the men take a nap.
Yes,
Grandpa's snoozing on the couch.
Yep.
Snoozing the recliner.
Yep.
And
that's how it was at my house.
What is that? And
Well, so Emily, the hopeful, I forget her name, that goes by the Astoria, she said, please have your boys be involved in preparations as much as the girls, right? Let them measure and mix and bake and create alongside their sisters, have them set the table and pour drinks, help them clean up too.
Yeah.
Don't let another generation of boys grow up to be men who think the kitchen is the domain of women until it's time to cut the turkey.
Right?
Oh, that's so right on.
So on that point, my son is now at my neighbor's house cooking because they are preparing Thanksgiving dinner for tomorrow,
Awesome.
and he is over there. And I said he needs to send me pictures so I can post it.
I
Wow.
love it. I love it. Yeah,
That's great.
it was like that at our house. I mean, my grandmother and was always in the kitchen, but she just had particular ways she wanted to do stuff. So you went in at your own risk. But she had us baking from the time we were little, like had to be on step stools to
Yeah.
be in the kitchen with her. My brother and I both. And so my brother still has her recipe for homemade yeast rolls, and so he'll do that. And my brother cooks a lot. So for Thanksgiving, he's doing the meats and stuff, and then my sister-in-law is doing a lot of cooking. So we have a tendency now to all kind of cook, which is cool. So, but that's not how it was
Absolutely.
growing up.
And what
Yeah.
you said about, grandma was making him do it early too. And Leela,
Mhm.
that's right on with what you're doing.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna
Mhm.
try and give some of that out tomorrow. Like somebody
Yes.
else can make a green bean casserole. And my kids are older. They're
Yeah.
like, 16, 19, 24, 28. They can make a dish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just
Absolutely. They
assign
can
them.
cut something. They can, chop some
Mhm.
things. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I love getting in there. The last few times, we've had it, we've all kind of gotten in the kitchen together and done some stuff, which was kind of cool. So, one person was doing dressing, one person was doing, a baking, and it was kind of cool to do that as a group project. So yeah, we like to do that sometimes, but it can be a chore depending on how many. But we don't have a lot. Like we're gonna have 7 people. We don't have a lot of people
Yeah.
anymore
Uh-oh.
like we used to. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier when you don't have that much going on. So yeah. So we'll be watching football,
What
and
kind of dress
I
are
don't,
you thinking?
we're not World Cup people, so we'll be watching American football. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we're
And
watching World Cup. It is
are you?
very interesting.
Yep,
Oh my
yep,
God. And I'm getting
yeah.
videos from my friends in Costa Rica who are like filming bands coming in. And, I mean, everyone is going crazy with World Cup.
Yes,
But
I believe it.
I did find out how to pronounce it's Qatar. It's Qatar. That's the New
Yes.
York Times interviewed a linguist and they said, how do you pronounce this name of the country? And it's Qatar.
Qatar. Yeah, because some people are like Qatar, Qatar,
Yeah.
Cater. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they were just talking this morning. I think as I was listening, as I was driving in, the World Cup is going on. Of course, American football because it's Thanksgiving, so it's Cowboys football, and then they also have the National Dog Show. So all those things are happening on Thanksgiving this year,
And the Macy's parade.
and the Macy's parade. So there's something for everybody. Plus, Hallmark is
Yes.
going to be on with all the Christmas movies. So if you don't want any of those, you can go find a TV with Hallmark on it. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. We're just chit chatting about all things Thanksgiving and gratitude.
And
So
our
yeah.
movie is It's a Wonderful Life because it gets me every single
Oh,
time
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. But because I'm an old movie person, right? The older, the better for me. I don't like a lot of new stuff. I like the old stuff. I like the old stuff. Oh, I know. We didn't make this year. My mother has this ambrosia salad that she makes, but we didn't do that this year for Thanksgiving. I
Tell
guess
me
we'll do it for
more about
Christmas.
it. I need
Yeah,
details.
it's got it's marshmallow. Well, okay. So there's a story behind this. So the regular salad is marshmallows with whipping cream. It's got the maraschino cherries, it's got pineapple, and it's got pecans in it. So it's really good, and you use the small marshmallows. But my brother hates pecans. I hate maraschino cherries, so we end up with marshmallows, whipped cream, and pineapple for the salad.
That also sounds
Or
delightful.
it's just which works for both of us. But now we've gotten to the place where at least if we get like big pecans, like half pecans, then we'll do it with the pecans and the cherries. And I just pick out the cherries, and my brother picks out the pecans.
That sounds reasonable.
So, but it's like peas and carrots. When we had peas and carrots when we were little, I ate the carrots. My brother ate the peas. I can't do peas. So,
No?
so it worked. I can't do English peas. I don't know what it is. Those green peas, I cannot. Like lima beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They don't work for me. They don't work for me. So yeah. So, now, Leela, are you a green bean casserole girl?
I am definitely green bean. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I eat all the
Yes.
sides that don't
Oh,
have any meat in them.
Mhm.
But mashed potatoes, oh my gosh, and green beans and cranberry with the orange relish in it, and anything that salad you said with the pecans and the
yes.
marshmallows. Oh, that sounds great. And of course, the apple pie, the pumpkin pie, all of that. So
Yes, the dessert table. Yeah,
yes.
I cannot do green bean casserole. Maybe it's because I've just had really bad ones. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like
Well,
green
it's
beans
it's
in
the
soup.
onion, it's the fried onions that you have to. I mean, that makes at the topping. That's
Yes.
everything. It's got to be
Oh,
crispy fried onions.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe I need to try one more time with a real good one. Are you a green bean casserole girl,
Mushroom.
Jenny?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a favorite in our house. It's my youngest kiddo's favorite, and I think you hit on a really important thing there, Leela. It's about the toppings on so many dishes. Just the toppings. I'm
Yes.
also a vegetarian. I haven't made a turkey in probably 4 or so years, and I'm making one tomorrow for the meat eaters.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I go back and forth. I've been doing more protein now, more meat protein now, just because I'm trying to get back on plan.
Mhm.
I can tell I have not been eating enough protein, so I'm doing, and I can't eat soy, so it makes it really hard to do, like the tofu and all that kind of stuff. So I can't do soy. So yeah, I'm going to be getting back on my probably pescatarian thing and just doing lots of fish
Yeah,
and seafood and stuff like that, so it can get the additional protein and good fats and all of that. So,
closer
but
to
it's
the water
weird for
than the
Thanksgiving.
easier.
Yeah, and then of course the
Yeah.
wine, guys. The wine. I
Yes.
mean,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
wine is every.
Yes.
I'm not going to have any wine tonight, so I could just have my alcohol tomorrow.
Exactly. Oh, that's the other thing we talked about was eggnog. I
Ooh,
haven't had eggnog in forever, but I think because it is cooked. Didn't we say it? We realized we kind of came to the conclusion that it is cooked, right? It's boiled or something.
I've never made it, but
Me
I've
neither.
bought it and I've drank it many times.
Yeah.
Uh, my former mother-in-law used to make it, but I never saw her make it. But yeah, you can
Yeah.
buy it at Kroger or the UDF or whatever, and it's pasteurized. So
Yes. So I'm thinking it's
good
got
for
to be heated. It's got to be heated. Hey, Jay, don't they cook eggnog? Is eggnog cooked? He doesn't know. My brother's like, I don't know. So I don't know. I
and it's
can't.
really good with a lot of different with rum in it and
Yes, that's the thing. It is definitely, if it's spiked eggnog, I remember that being better because I remember we could only get like a little taste because my grandmother always spiked it. So she would only give us like a little bit because it had something in it, rum or something, I guess is what you put in it. Um, I don't know if you put regular whiskey, but yeah. So I think we'll be passing on the eggnog this year too. So yeah.
Leela, what's your wine? What wine
What?
are you drinking tomorrow?
Oh, I like French wines. I get headaches with U.S. wines because of the preservatives.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I have to go old world. So French, Italian, and I will tell you, Trader Joe's, man, $7 for a bottle of Bordeaux. I mean, you can't beat that price. So Trader Joe's has a
Wow.
wonderful wine selection, and it's so inexpensive because they buy in bulk and they have really good
Right.
wine, people that get some great deals. So definitely Trader Joe's if you have one near you for your wine selection.
Oh, awesome. That's
It's
good.
interesting what you said about headaches because I have something different that happens, and I'm wondering if it's related. My um, fingers will get swollen, like just like
Hmm.
inflammation. If I drink regular wet red wine the night before, I'll wake up and I'm kind of swollen feeling. And I've figured out that if I drink organic red wine, so that has
It
less
probably
sulfate,
is.
there's sulfites added,
Yep.
that doesn't occur as often. But I haven't tried, switching to like French and Italian wines. That might be something to.
That's probably what it
Yeah,
is, Jenny.
the U.S. wines really have given me headaches and the same thing, swelling and all kinds of things. It's the tannins and preservatives they use.
Yeah.
They're very controlled in Europe. I mean, even, obviously skincare is controlled in Europe. Everything is controlled. They ban 131 substances, whereas we only ban 7. So
Yep.
you get
Right.
a lot cleaner stuff, and it's just highly regulated.
So you don't do the Spanish wines, Leela?
Spanish wines are fine too. Yeah, any of the
Yeah.
old school wines, but I prefer the Tuscany. I love the Piedmont area in
Mhm.
Italy as well, the Montepulciano wines. I'm sounding like such a snob, but really, you can get them for $6 at Trader Joe's. So there.
Right. But we like what we like, man.
Yeah.
We like what we like. Yeah.
Full-bodied. I like full-bodied.
Yeah. I've just never become a really big wine drinker. I don't tend to be a really big alcohol drinker in general, although, if I'm going to drink something, I've found that I'm more of a bourbon girl. I like it. I like Crown. I like, whiskeys, but I like more bourbons because they're sweeter, because they're more corn. There's more corn in a bourbon. So I like that. A bourbon and like ginger ale is really light. It's really nice. Like Crown Green Apple and ginger ale is like a refreshing summer drink.
Oh, that sounds good. So we all know what we're going to drink tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and then Finadini. So Finadini.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yes. So it is Southeast Asian. So my sister-in-law is originally from Guam, and Finadini it's soy sauce based. So it's like a soy sauce base, and then it's these peppers. And I don't even know the name of the peppers. What's the name of the peppers in Finadini? Doni peppers. So my sister-in-law's aunt grows them in California, and so you put these, and they are like burn the skin off your tongue hot. But you put these little peppers in the soy sauce, and then some really thin slivered onions, maybe a little bit of lemon juice. My niece started putting like tomatoes in it just because she loves tomatoes. But you just put it over everything. Put it over rice. Put it over meat. It's just hard to describe. It is so good. And you think it's just like a simple soy sauce, but it's not. It's just, it's up a notch. Yeah.
So Google has told me it's spelled Finadene, if anybody
Yes. Yes. Finadini.
Because I was trying to look it up yesterday on something else on the food site. I was like, all kinds of ways.
Yeah,
Like,
Finadini. Yeah, over rice. It's like I almost can't eat rice without Finadini anymore. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. So we're going to have that tomorrow. But when my brother and sister-in-law got married, that was the first time I'd had Finadini and rice. And then she made shrimp fritters, which were phenomenal.
woo!
And they were phenomenal. I'll have to I think Lo sent me the recipe. So I'll have to post the recipe for the shrimp fritters. And then pancit, which is also phenomenal, which is a noodle dish that's made with like the clear, like the glass noodles. And like shredded vegetables. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So
And what's your favorite desserts?
I love Tisa's mom's pumpkin cake. I love that. I love that.
Cake.
I love pumpkin cake. I love that marshmallow thing. That's really good. And I love fruit pies. Like I'm a fruit pie girl, like an apple pie.
Yeah.
Peach cobbler, that kind of thing.
Warm with vanilla ice cream on top. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I'm more of a pie girl than a cake girl.
Yeah. How about you, Jenny?
So my first thought was what Laurel said was a dessert yesterday. I think it's a side. Sweet potato casserole.
Oh, yeah.
First dessert. Initial dessert.
That is, yes.
Goes on the plate with everything else. And then probably my favorite Thanksgiving dessert is a pumpkin cheesecake. But again, it was because I do it with fresh whipped cream.
Oh,
Make your own whipped cream in the stand mixer. And really, that's the best part. So maybe it's just that I like whipped cream.
Whipped cream. Yeah. But there are things that I like that I've realized the thing that they're in is just the delivery system. Like I love McDonald's hot mustard sauce. So I'll get fries and I'll get the hot mustard sauce, or I'll get like those pretend chicken things with hot mustard sauce. I don't want the stuff. I just want the sauce. Right? It's just like a delivery system for the sauce.
Yeah, like Jenny said, the toppings and the sauces.
Exactly. So the cheesecake is
melted butter.
There you go. It's the delivery system for the whipped cream. Well, my mom just made an apple butter cake with brown sugar buttercream. So we're going to try that. Yeah. So that's good too. So we like desserts. My grandmother's 1, 2, 3, 4 cake is fantastic. So just I like
Mm-hmm.
really simple, not real fancy.
Leela, what are
But
you doing
yeah,
for dessert?
say that again,
What are you doing for dessert?
Leela.
Well, I am not cooking.
What are you eating for dessert?
What am I eating? Well, so our neighbor, her name is Carolyn Kumaris. She grew up in a household of 5 girls in the Pennsylvania Dutch area.
Oh wow.
And she was assigned, because she was the youngest, the pies. So she's in her 70s, and so her expertise is baking pies from scratch. So she's doing a banana cream, a pumpkin, an apple, and one other. But
Yeah.
she is known for her pies. I mean, this is a woman who, for 60 something years has been making pies. So I'm really looking forward to her pies. And Luke is over there now because he's getting tips and he's learning how to cook the pies.
Awesome. That's
so
good.
I'm getting an ancillary benefit from
I love it. I love a good pie. I do.
Yeah.
I love a good
Yeah.
pie. I remember when when we were at Sue's one time, she had peanut butter pie in South Carolina.
Mm.
Now I loved peanut butter, and then you put it in a pie. Yes, all day long, all day
Yep.
long. And even pecan pie. I love pecan pie. I cannot eat it. It's way too sweet for me now.
Yeah.
It's way too much sugar.
Small slice, yeah.
Yeah, but because it's just Karo syrup and pecans. I mean, that's all it is, and butter. It's just sugar and nuts.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's some whipped cream.
But it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. So we'll be doing some good desserts, and then of course my mom's brownies are like the best brownies in the world. I can't even eat in other people's brownies. I don't know what she does, but her brownies are like the perfect fudgy like brownie with the top is kind of cracked,
It's just find out, Laurel.
They're perfect.
What brownies are.
Yes, they're perfect. They're just perfect. So I think we'll get brownies for Christmas. And then we do because when we were growing up, my mom would bake a lot. And so my dad used to call them striped babies, but they're literally these striped cookies. So they're different color, and it takes a long time, but you make the dough and then you different color the dough and then you slice the cookie, and oh yeah. So we'll have the striped cookies, and then we'll have brownies. And then at one point she was making like this candy cane cookies that were like peppermint flavored. But we don't love peppermint, so we don't do those anymore. But yeah, so we'll have some really great desserts for Christmas too, but I need to do lots of exercise between now and then, so I can have all that sugar. Yeah. So
what are your traditions at the table? I mean, I sent this article to my family yesterday from The Atlantic called "The Essential Questions: Interview Your Family to Uncover Stories and Bridge Generations." And there's some really good tips in here about specificity when you're talking, like, not just where they grew up or where they were born, but where did their windows look out to? What were the sounds they heard in the morning? Like really engaging those sensory things that really embed in our hippocampus, that are really clear. And I thought the other thing was like, what do you talk about at the dinner table?
Yeah.
Do what do you guys talk about? What are your conversation topics?
Ooh. Ours really depends on who's there.
Yeah.
Who's there. If it's pretty intimate like this one is going to be, well, if it's my mom and my brother and my sister-in-law and me, it runs the gamut, right? There may be political stuff, there may be religious stuff, there may be just family stuff. If the kids are there, it tends to be a little more surface, just kind of what you're doing and what's going on and what's on TV and what's, that it doesn't get as deep. But when it's just real adults, it can get pretty deep for us.
Yeah. I like this question. And Laura, I'll just sent you that article. What do you wish people knew about you? Isn't that a good one?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What
do you guys talk about, Jenny?
Well, real little, when we had big Thanksgiving at my grandparents' house, we would all, go around and say something that you were thankful for. This was in the kitchen. So I was thinking the other thing that's really weird about, like, what do you talk about at the table at Thanksgiving is I think that depends on if everybody's sitting at the same table. I don't know about you guys, but we always have like a little
the kids' table.
a kids table, and then different rooms might have different tables. There was never like
Yeah.
one big table where everybody's talking about
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. So I think that's interesting to have like maybe common questions you could ask at each table, maybe switch or
Mm-hmm.
find different ways to share that information, because I do think it is really cool.
Yeah.
And the further we get away from those traditions when we were kids, the more it would be nice to
Yeah.
pass that down or create new traditions or just
Right.
talk about them and do healthier things instead. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Because there's so much to your point, Leela. There's so much in our oral histories that we lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we don't write it down and we don't have um, conversations often about that stuff. There are things you find out by accident. I remember things my grandmother would say, like, we're like, wait, what? Wait a minute. You never said that before. And it's because you didn't ask the right question, or it just happened to be the time that it came up. And I just wonder, so I still think sometimes how much we don't know or how much we lost because we never
Mm-hmm.
had the conversation. We definitely didn't write it down,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. What about you guys? What are Melissa and your folks going to do? Are they all getting together, Leela?
Yeah, so they're all going to be together.
Okay.
Then my parents are moving to assisted living next week, which is, very fast, but
Yes.
Melissa when Melissa wants something to happen, it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
So, and we're going to be there at Christmas time. So
Oh,
we'll
good.
fly out on the 24th, December 24th, and stay
Okay.
for a week. And then Mark and I and Luke are going to be going to our neighbors. So there'll be like 12 or 13 people. Fortunately, they're all of the same political persuasion, so we won't have
Yes.
any of those uncomfortable conversations. We'll probably
Right.
talk about the midterms and where do we go
Yeah.
from here, and a divided Congress and that kind of stuff, because they are pretty activated. And then the gentleman, George, just retired, so I'll probably be asking him
Oh,
what he's going to do.
yeah.
And what plans are for next year, and
Mm-hmm.
so just general conversation, and of course we go around and say, what are you thankful for, what are you grateful
Right.
for, so that's always good to do, and then we stuff our faces and
Yep.
and then take a nap, and then Mark and I and Luke are going up to the mountains in Big Bear. We
Oh,
rented a
fun.
little A-frame, small 2-bedroom little
Mm-hmm.
cabin in the woods, and we'll be there, for the weekend and come
Oh,
back. So
fun. That'll be
yeah.
fun. Yeah, we there was just on there this week. They interviewed Steve Lopez, who I didn't know, but he's a journalist. I didn't know that name. I didn't know his byline. But he just spent a year. When he turned 65, he was trying to decide whether or not to retire. And he just spent a year writing. But did you hear this, Jenny? Did you hear this
I
this
heard the
interview?
beginning of this story, and then I got to where I was going, so I turned off. That's a good reminder. I need to go back and listen to it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so great. He did a whole report on how to retire,
Yes.
if you should retire when. Yes, please go on.
Exactly. It was so good. And he said he spent like a year interviewing all these people because he said, there's people who like are retired and they're like, no, and I don't want to do anything. And they don't. There are people who retire and are like, I'm going back to work. And then there are people who do kind of the middle, and what was it about those things and why did they make those decisions? And then there are people who never retire, right? Who are like, no, we love what we do. We're getting so much out of it. We're just not going to retire. And so he spent a year doing that. And he wrote a book, Leela. That's the reason I brought it up when you said the guy retired. He wrote a book that talked about that. So that might be a great gift. His name was Steve Lopez. I can't remember the name of the book, but yeah. So it was journalist Steve Lopez talked about retiring. Yeah. So that might be a good gift for him
I
something to think
like
about.
that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So. Well, we are going to go and get some last minute stuff done, battle the crazies. Lord help me out there trying to get last minute stuff. I got to get my mind right.
Don't go to Costco,
Oh,
because I went yesterday. It was absolutely. I just drove in and drove out. There
right?
was not one parking place available.
I just
So
can't. I can't.
yeah.
So we just got a couple of things we want to do because I refuse to be out on Black Friday. So
Right.
we're going to do a couple of things and then and then head over to actually we're going to go see Tisa and her mom. Go see her real quick and then and then we'll
Oh,
be back at the
that's
house getting
fantastic.
stuff ready for tomorrow to cook for tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah, my niece has created this spreadsheet of small and businesses and eco-friendly, sustainable businesses
Cool.
to shop for. So women-owned businesses. And she really is encouraging all of us to not shop at the big places, but to support
small
these small
businesses. Yeah,
businesses.
send
So
it to
I'll
me.
ask her if I can
Yes,
share that with
that
you.
would be
Okay.
awesome.
On the Empowerment Village Facebook page too. That would be awesome.
Yes. We'd
Okay.
love to do that. Love to share that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. I was just, one of the podcasts I listened to on the way down was with the CEO of Etsy. And he was talking about how, you know, I think he said 87% of the businesses on Etsy are women-owned businesses. And he was, I mean, his
Wow.
interview was talking about how he had kind of turned it around and the things that they did. And even when they raised their fee from like 3.5% to 5%, and which is still cheaper than most people that are out there. But he said, you know, there was all this pushback. He said, but then we had to tell people and really go back to the all the creators and say, you know, but here's what we do with this money. He said it's all about transparency. He said, here's what we do with this money. This money goes into increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of the platform, ensuring we've got security around the platform so that you can get better connected to your customers. Here's the, you know, here's all the marketing that we do. So he said, we just came out and told them specifically what we're doing and then showed them, right? And then, so he said, it really was, while it was a hump in the very beginning, he said, it really has come to be something that was helpful for them. So it was actually a really good interview with the guy on Etsy. It was on Wisdom from the Top, Guy Raz's podcast.
Oh, Guy
Yeah,
Raz.
I
I
love
love that.
him.
I love that. Which is completely opposite to what the gas companies are doing, which
Yes.
are jacking up the prices and keeping all the profits for
Yes.
themselves.
Exactly. It is very difficult. It is very
A
difficult.
lot of money.
I'm like, come on. Yeah. I'm like, come on, people.
Oh, so yes, let's support women-owned
Yes,
businesses. I
let's
love it.
do. And Shop Small, I think Saturday is Shop Small Saturday, isn't it? November 26th?
Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, Small Business Saturday. So yeah, so that's perfect timing. Yeah, ask her if she'll let us share it, Leela, and we'll put it up, especially getting ready for Small Business Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask her right now.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, Jenny and me on Empowerment Village. Sue, we're thinking about you. So hopefully you're able to hear. We're thinking about you and sending prayers for Mom as well. Leela, let us know how your folks are doing. Give Melissa and the girls a big hug for us, and Luke
I will.
and Mark as
I'm
well.
so grateful for
Yes.
you both, and thanks for just continuing to put yourself
Yeah.
out there and your content and your wisdom
Thank you.
and just disrupting this whole system to be more centered in kindness and grace
Yeah, thank you.
and power.
Yes,
So
we're going to keep doing it. We'll keep showing up.
yeah, I
Jenny,
love it.
have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for all you do.
Friend.
I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys. Yeah, next week. We'll be around next week. Ooh, yeah. We'll see. I'll see you next week. Cheryl is going to be on next week.
And it's going to be in the
Yeah.
evening next week on Alignment
Yes,
Vision
it's going to be
Action. Mhm.
Yeah, it'll be an evening
In the
next
evening.
week. So
Okay.
Cheryl, we had to reschedule. She got called into jury duty. So she is a breast cancer survivor, and she has completely taken this next chapter of her life in a whole direction that she wanted all along. So can't wait for you guys to hear that conversation. So join me next week
Goosebumps talking about it.
for Alignment Vision Action at 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you then.